Hello and welcome to today's LOL Esports Roundup. We're going to cover the news from Sunday, February 19th, I think. Games that occurred today. 3 in the LPL, 2 in the LCK, 2 in the LEC. Then previewing tomorrow's schedule, which is 2 LPL games and the LEC pseudo winter finals. Prediction-wise, I'm 146 and 64. I think I went 4 and 2 to... No, there's 7 games. I think I went 5 and 2 today. LNG and FPX. LNG come in at 5 and 1. FPX 1 and 5. LNG 11th in my power rankings. They win 2-0. Scout goes 11, 3 and 7, 26% of damage. It's tough between him and Tarzan for MVP. Tarzan 2-1-12. LWX 8-3-6, 31% of damage. Some takeaways from this. FPX looks like a lot better team with Chow Chow in bot lane. They were very impactful. Frankly, I think that the FPX bot lane played better in the laning phase. Now in the team fight aspect, maybe Chow Chow needs to work in with the team more. And LP did a lot better. Having some key Varus ultis that I thought were I said they were key, but I thought they really, really swung some fights and brought LNG back into some games. Brought them back into both games, frankly. But the laning phase was so rough, it was hard to give them kudos. Tarzan, I thought, really, really, made things happen. The Rift Herald fight was also partially his doing that swung one of the games. And game 2, he had a high KP. Now, Scout, the case for him, I thought in game 2, he definitely had a great KDA. That was without a doubt. And in game 1, he frankly gapped Care. They put Care on Kassadin, and, LPL's on 13-1A still today. Tomorrow, I expect them to move on to 13-3, so tomorrow maybe the 13-1A video comes out. I know this week I thought I was going to do it, but didn't end up happening. FPX trying to live in the past, but at the same time, I think that they really stepped it up in a big way in the bot lane with Chow Chow signing. A lot of other teams probably are looking now and saying, shoot, we should have probably signed him. The bottom feeders, if you will. But LNG, it was a mid gap. It was a mid jungle gap with Scout and Tarzan against Care and Hacker, and it's pretty much what it was. FPX started Fearness again, by the way. He got gapped by Zika. And then in game 2, Jala, who, a big aspect of his game is playing aggressive, which has hurt him at times. But he had a clean KDA, but not a lot of damage, which makes me wonder if he was playing very passively, trying not to lose his job today, which is definitely a negative aspect of this whole deal. Just trying to make sure I'm still on the screen here. Team Wii and Anyone's Legend. I thought Anyone's Legend was going to get this one, and it ended up happening. They came in 0-7, World Elite 3-4. AL win 2-1. Pinzi was MVP, going 12-6 and 20, 26% of the team's damage. Betty 12-5 and 15. Shanks, another good series out of him, win or loss, 11-6-11, 24% of damage, a very clean spread there. Game 1, Anyone's Legend played the Wombo combo, Camille Galio. I thought Pinzi's Galio was really good, despite Shanks' rise being very good across from him. I thought Shanks' Game 1 was really keeping them in the game for much longer than they really deserved to be, but the Camille Galio was, the difference. Play when in doubt. You play something very simple, easy to execute. You're 0-7. That's what you kind of got to do. Like, it doesn't matter what meta it is. Camille Galio is pretty universally known as this is drooling on your face kind of composition. If you screw this up, that's a problem. It doesn't win all the time, of course. Sometimes it will lose because it is so low skill. The skill floor to play that comp is very low, and the ceiling for its potential is low as well. But if it's against a team like Team Wii, you can find a victory. Game 2, I thought Bubu got the better of ZDZ in top lane. Hope had some moments. Shanks had some moments. And Hang was active. So Team Wii find a win in game 2, but then in game 3, Anyone's Legend returns a favor. I think Pinzi was on a rise in game 3, and there were some key team fights around objectives where he went off and flipped the game. And frankly, that's what got him MVP. I mean, the Galio was very good. The Rise in Game 3 was very good. And, finally they find a win, and maybe this turns into a couple more wins for them before the end of the split. They already played LGD, so that easy win is off the board for them. But, they won't go winless like Team We did last split. Everyone was looking forward to this one in China. Top in EDG, top 5th, EDG 10th, both 5-1, top win 2-1. Jackie Love was MVP, going 21 kills, 7 deaths, 17 assists, 34% of damage. Rookie 17, 5-15. Leave 15, 14, 12, 25% of damage. The bot lane was the contested part of this game. For sure, all 3 games we saw action in the bot lane. Jackie Love and Mark getting the better of them across the 3 games. Multiple 2v2 kills. Tien having a lot to do with that. He would go down early, make things happen, get a couple kills, get them ahead, pressure the young bot laner Leave off of the turret. Now, Leave did show up in Game 2 on the Sivir at times, brought them back in the game, as well as Fofo with a triple kills. The game was kind of closing out. That allowed EDG to get a win in Game 2, even though Top were definitely in position to win that game. Excuse me. But as far as I'm concerned, it was like the Jackie Love show. Rookie Adione had a lot of impact, and then on a Jace did very well. Fofo played Azir all 3 games. Going into the series, Fofo had went 6 games without a death, which I talked about it yesterday with Stixay. Some of this stuff, it's crazy how it flies under the radar. And with Fofo, it flew under the radar. I mean, LPL Fan Club made a post about it yesterday. Maybe the LPL talked about it before this series. But, why wasn't it being talked about against JDG? Like, they were against JDG, best team in the world at the time. So it was definitely something surprising to discover today after the series, seeing it on Twitter. But rookie gapped him. Top side, frankly, Ale was the only saving grace they had in Game 3. I think he was on a Camille in that one. And thought he got the better of Ching Tian. Ching Tian getting K'Sante multiple times in this series. His being the best. I say it every time I see him on it or even talk about K'Sante. Ching Tian's is the best. But really, jungle gap Tian all over the place, especially in Game 3. Like I said, he was into bot lane in the first couple games, but, all 3 games, frankly, he got to bot at some point. But Game 3, he was everywhere. And I really didn't feel that with JJ. And I said in my prediction video, which only a few people, obviously, members watch, bringing Monkey up and saying that they want Monkey to get some stage time because he's young and experienced and all that jazz, means that I have a feeling they're going to start splitting scrims if they haven't already when they brought him up. JJ is now a little bit off kilter here. And last year he was splitting with Junjia, and he struggled. And JJ obviously won Worlds the year before, and he didn't look that great last year, and some people didn't like that I'd say that, but I wonder if when he loses scrim time, that's when he starts to struggle. Obviously this is against Top. Top are 5th in my power rankings. Don't know in 2 days where I'm going to put them. A lot of good teams played each other. We see these 2 series here, good teams playing each other as well. So they're going to, have to determine and navigate that, but he didn't look quite the same, and I thought Tien definitely, I mean, outside of top lane, I think that there was a pretty big diffy in the roles here. T1 and Gen G. T1 first in the power rankings, 8-1. Gen G third at 7-2. T1 would win 2-1. This series started off with a level 1 in Game 1. Gumayushi went 16-9-19, 27% of damage. Played Varus all 3 games. Made him MVP. I think you could have made a case for multiple people, though. Carrier 5-5-33 at 80 carry. He played an 80 carry. Obviously support. Chovy 13-7-25, 36% of the team's damage across 3 games. A lot of damage from the mid lane. That's kind of why I maybe didn't make Faker MVP. I mean, the matchup, Chovy really was a lot more impactful damage-wise, but nevertheless. Game 1, Pays played a fabulous Draven game. I think he had double-digit kills. Mate 13 seems like it rings a bell. Chovy on a Silas did a lot of work in that one. And, they just kind of crushed it in Game 1. There were a lot of kills in that one. At one point, it was like 21. It was 15-15, and then Gen G kind of took it from there around some good, some nice team fights, get objectives, and win the game. I felt like after that, though, it became, T1 took over. Owner getting around the rift on an Elise, getting to bot lane, getting Guma ahead, that translating to getting leads elsewhere. In game 3, I thought that Gen G kind of approached the game. I feel like there was a bit of a draft issue, and Doran ended up being fine on the Jax. He was gapped in laning phase, down 27 CS at 15 minutes. Zeus had a solo kill in this one, but this was his second Jax game of his career. Doran's been around the block. Second Pro Jax game, this was the time to pull it out. Game 3 against T1 and Zeus. I don't know if that was really the play. And then Poppy for Peanut. I know Peanut's Poppy is good, but at the same time, I really didn't feel like it was a good time for it. So the Jax, Poppy, and top jungle is kind of weird against what was Naren. I believe Wukong. I thought Owner had a very good game 3, helped the team get ahead, which, made the case that maybe people could say he was MVP. I thought that he really did a lot of work. Keria, he might have played Jhin in game 3 as well. And he did. Because 307 sticks out to me. Guma, KDA wasn't as good, but all 3 games I thought consistency-wise, Guma had impact in all 3 games. Even in game 1, he had some moments where other players I felt like really didn't. So T1 come out ahead in that one. Sandbox and D+, Sandbox 12th, D+ 6th. Sandbox win. Both were 6 and 3. This is a big one. 2-0. Envy 909, 26% of damage. Closer 5-1 and 10. Showmaker 343, 34% of damage in mid lane for D+. This was an interesting one. So thinking about the bot lane situation, Kale played Tahm Kench and Kalista. 2 champions I really don't think of. Oh, no. No, it was Kellen played those 2 champions, I believe. And the reason why, because Kale's Tahm Kench sticks out to me. I feel like that was decent last year. Kellen, Tahm Kench, Kellen Kalista, not really. Not really feeling that. So, kind of weird bot lane pairings for D+, into Sandbox, who played well. Envy. 909, didn't die as the AD carry after last series. We previewed it yesterday. I think it's on that board over there. I can't read it. Envy went 1-11 and 2. I'll try to say it a little quieter because I'm close to the mic. 1-11 and 2 last time they played. 909 is very different, ain't it? Some people pick Closer's MVP already in the Discord. If you want to participate in MVPs, picking who is the MVP of these series, join the Discord. There's a thread for it every day. Outside of a triple kill after Baron or around Baron for Closer on a Yone, I really didn't think that he was overly great. I thought Canyon left a lot on the table in this one, which is, it is what it is. You play a bad series every once in a while. It's when you do it for weeks at a time, which we'll get into in a minute, where you start saying, okay, what the hell's up here? Like, so Canyon, rough series. Bot lane didn't get it done. I think they had a bad read on what they wanted to do and bring in to this series against Sandbox. And D+ 6 and 4 now. I still would, if I had to bet, which I'm not betting, but if I had to bet, I would think D+ still finishes above Sandbox when it's all said and done. I just think D+ are better. But today they were not. LEC, SK, and Vitality. SK 23rd at 6 and 3. Vitality 7 and 2 and 20th. Marcoon is my MVP. SK win 2-0. This is a big upset. Exakick 9-2 and 14, 29% of damage. Surtus goes another series without a death. Keep that in mind. 2 best of 3s. He is now 21-0 and 20. Bo 495, 29% of damage for Vitality. Played a Karthus in game 2. Tried to carry, did not work. Game 1, very reminiscent of SK's games against Heretics yesterday. SK, for being so young in 4 of their roles. 21, I think maybe like 21, 20, 21, 19 years old. I think that's the way it goes. They play super passively when they start out behind. Vitality got ahead. Once again, bot laner very far ahead with Neon into LCK, and Photon had an advantage over Irrelevant. But SK young team is like, okay, well, we're going to take our foot off the gas here, and we're going to let them make their mistakes. And if they make mistakes, we're going to punish them, and we're going to turn this game. And that is what happened. Vitality getting a little reckless. They were in good positions. Some people said 7K gold lead. I don't have that number in front of me, but that's a big lead to blow. And then, at Baron, Marcoon steals a Baron. And I thought that really solidified the flip in this one. Allowed SK to get really close. Allowed SK to start, getting prio on Drake pick, get up some objectives. And in the end, Exakick on the Zeri ends up scaling and getting to where he needs to be to carry the game. And that kind of is the deal there. Marcoon, like I said, was MVP. Just stole the Baron. And I thought in game 2, we're going to get into game 2 here. I thought SK as a whole clearly have a really good grasp on what Vitality wanted to do. So, actually, early on in game 1, the lead for Vitality I thought had a lot to do with Kaiser. Kaiser roamed top lane. Because SK predicted or had a feeling that Bo was up there and were willing to 2v2 jungle top against each other. And then they even had the idea that Kaiser was going to go up there because DOS shows up late because where the fight was in lane, it was more towards the Vitality side, so it helped Kaiser. But Kaiser goes in there on Alistar, swings the fight, or at least solidifies it into Vitality's favor, and then they take off from there and get their lead and whatnot. But in game 2, Bo goes to bot lane on Karthus. Tries to gank, not successful. Marcoon goes top lane, succeeds with his gank. Okay? So, and that's not to say I'm not comparing those two, I'm comparing the plays that the teams made, right? So, we have an attempt by Vitality that fails. SK respond, they succeed. Then, Vitality attempt a 4-man into topside. They bring Leona up there. They bring Tristana up there. He starts roaming up there. Perks does. And SK are on top of it. SK are ready for it. There's a ward. Marcoon is hanging out up there, and all of a sudden they've wasted all this time and get nothing out of it. Then Bo attempts the Rift Herald, and that's fine to attempt the Rift Herald. I mean, you need an objective. Things are not going well. SK are on top of that. They snuff that out. They stop them. They push them off of it. They take the Rift Herald. And then they win fights. And then SK just steamroll the hell out of Vitality. Vitality are completely out of it. And I don't know how telegraphed their play. I mean, for how predictive, I don't know, predictive is even really a word to begin with, but SK were on top of what Vitality wanted to do. Vitality were attempting to make plays, and every player, I'm not saying that anybody is more well, I do think the bot lane really, really sucked today. That is, is what it is. Thought Kaiser was better than Neon, but Neon couldn't get the job done with the lead he had. Perks had some mistakes on Silas. Bo, I thought Bo was fine in this one. I don't actually blame Bo for what happened today. But when I look at Vitality, as more than just today. And I think that's the way to look at it, because now they're out. So what the hell's happened the last 3 weeks? Not today, not last week, but the last 3 weeks. Everybody has taken a turn, pretty much except Photon. Frankly, Photon may int a play here or there, but seldom do you see Photon int an entire game away for his team. He brings some games back that the team doesn't deserve to win, where I really don't think other players on the team are doing that. But everybody has taken a turn inting for 3 weeks, and they haven't found a way to fix it. The coach hasn't found a way to fix it. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Now they have a couple weeks to sit on it and figure it out. Australis and Mad Lions. Australis 3-6, Mad Lions 7-2, 16th in the power rankings. Mad Lions win. Niski 7-1, 15, 27% of damage. Elyoya 10-3, 19 in the jungle. Kabe once again leading the way for Australis 8-4, 7, 30% of damage. Australis' bot lane was one of the better performing ones this split. Carried the team as far as they could. Couldn't do it today. Game 1, Niski was on a Jace. Niski was my MVP in this one. He played a solid game. And then in Game 2, they set up a level 1 on Zoe. He got a 4-man bubble, and that gave them a 2-0 lead, and they carried from there. This was definitely a one-sided affair. I thought Elyoya was way ahead of 113 on plays, which makes sense. This is 113 is getting a lot of experience here. It's very important. He's a young player. Not only in experience, but in age. He's very young. This is a big moment on the stage in the playoffs for him. And Elyoya obviously has played at the highest level. So, to see that gap's not that surprising. I thought Chasey got the better of Finn at times. Like I said, Niski against Dajor. I mean, Niski was key in their level 1 in Game 2. In Game 1, he had moments. Dajor, I thought, did not play. See, Dajor inted leads, but the fact that he had the leads, I think, should be, like, acknowledged. The fact that he even had a lead to throw is nice in a series like this, where the games really were pretty Mad Lions' favorite, in my opinion. Hilly had some moments on the Nautilus that made you scratch your head and be like, oh, God, did they flip tails today? In the end, Mad Lions were the better team, and they won. But even Game 2, I thought that, Zhang-Hoon really, he was like 0-4-2 really early on. I think they're still in laning phase. Like, it was very bad. Elyoya went bot lane. The 2v2 did very well. Poor Kabe kind of just going with the flow there. But speaking of LEC, Yamato brings up a good point, and I've been saying this all along. These teams are not going to have an easy time replacing players, signing players. You sign players and you don't have a lot of money left over. Because you want to try and spend every dollar you can on players because you want the best players, and that's what they do. But now you're out of money. And how are you going to make money with players that obviously aren't good enough that you want to get off your team? And, like, buying players from the ERL is not, like, a sane, it's a really naive thing to think about. Why would ERL teams give away good players? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think you're going to get players from Asia unless they're literally teamless for the same reason. I just don't see it happening. So, like, right now, we're in a position where a lot of these teams won't be able to do anything. Like, Upset costs a lot of money. Upset's not going anywhere. Nobody has the money for Upset. Like, Vitality paid T1 for Photon. Do you really think they have money for Upset? I doubt it. I doubt it. Do you think that, Excel have any money left over? I doubt it. Fnatic? No. Now, Fnatic all of a sudden, oh, well, you could sell Upset to Vitality. And then get what money? Because Vitality doesn't have money. Like, sure, these teams might make moves and surprise us, but a lot of them probably maxed out what they were going to spend. Sneak peek for tomorrow, LPL. Ninja and Pajamas, 2-5. Thunder Talk, 4-3. 21st in my power rankings. Nip lost to LGD. Thunder Talk lost to OMG last week. Week 2, day 3 of summer. Victory 5 at the time. Now Nip 1-2-0. 4 of the 10 players overlap. Dream is starting for Nip in this one over Pout. Dream went 6-3-16. UCal 7-2-9 across from him. Photic and Ju against Wanfeng and Yao Yao. So these two 80 carries pretty much. Photic and Wanfeng. Some people would probably say they're pretty close. I think it's fair. Photic is a really good 80 carry. Great Senna, but a good 80 carry, not on everything else. Where Wanfeng, I think, is I'm fond of Wanfeng. I said it before. I think he's super cracked. So this bot lane match will be interesting, to say the very least. I don't really like that they're bringing in Dream over Pout, though. I thought that Nip looked a lot better with Pout. So hopefully that's a short leash situation. Tomorrow, LGD and RNG. LGD 2 and 5, RNG 3 and 4, 15th in the power rankings. LGD beat Nip, RNG beat FPX. Week 10, day 7, the last series of summer. LGD won 2-1. Half the starters overlap. Jin Zhao, 9, 13, and 27. Had a. I think that 9 is wrong. I think that's wrong. I want to say he had a 10 kill Pike game, so he didn't have 9 kills. So keep that in mind. He had a really good Pike game. Ming, 3, 12, and 40. Hai Chao and Angel is the matchup highlighted. Hai Chao has probably been the most consistent part of LGD this year, similar to Shanks and Strive. These teams towards the bottom, mid to bottom of the standings that have players that show up every game. Fodic. Hai Chao is one of those players. Across from him, Angel is obviously a player that I've wanted on RNG's starting lineup all split. It took a long time. A couple coaches fired, bringing back Ming. New Year's, all sorts of stuff to get Angel back, but Angel is in the lineup, and team's a lot better for it. LEC, G2 and Koi. G2 14th at 6 and 3, Koi 4 and 5 at 19th in the power rankings. G2 beat Mad, Koi beat Vitality. Week 3, day 2, G2 would win in the split. Broken Blade 506, 30% of damage. Sisgenda 342, 30% of damage, leading the way in top lane in that matchup. Yike and Malring is the matchup I'm highlighting. Yike bring out the Lilia last week. We'll see if he does that tomorrow. We saw Kanavi play it. Not Kanavi. Not Kanavi. Tarzan, another great jungler, played it. But with this, there's going to be interesting picks. Very different junglers. Yike, carry-oriented. Malrang, getting around, making things happen. He's willing to go 4 CS a minute if it means that Larson is up 20 CS, and now that's offset, right? He offsets the CS diff in the jungle by getting other players ahead elsewhere. Bot lane's going to be very interesting. Hansama and Mickey X against Comp and Trimby. This new patch, 13.1b, is really beneficial for them. What else we got? Top lane, Broken Blade over, and gets an edge over Sisgenda. We saw it in the last time. In mid lane, Larson and Caps, 2 very good laners. Obviously, we know Caps is better than Larson, but laning wise, Larson is not a it's not a waste. So that one should be close. Best of 5, remember, not a best of 3 tomorrow. So the roundup will be out, when the best of 5 is over. I think it starts at noon, so it could be all the way till, beyond when this video goes up now. I don't know what time it is, so that's it for the roundup. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.